different uniform, the Bucs could stop themselves because they won't go back to square one. Square one for this team was no continuity, putting it together, Tom Brady jumping on board, no offseason, no preseason, breaking into parks and recs just to get a rep because you're that hungry for this team and an opportunity. When you win a Super Bowl, are you that hungry still? Are you still that desperate? So if they return to that place of desperation, they can do it again. Last team to return all 22 of their starters in week 1 of the next year, 1979 Steelers. Guess what they did that year? Repeated as Super Bowl champs. History is on their side. Last thing I want to say is that stick move by AB to start off that conversation, was that on the Honey Badger? Right. They getting that back too? Oh, it's going to be problems for every team not wearing the Bucs colors.
I co-sign. The only thing really that can probably start the Bucs is going to be injuries or the Buccaneers themselves. So let's look at the last 3 teams in the Super Bowl to go back to the Super Bowl. Seattle Seahawks. They played against the Denver Broncos. They won. They go back against the Patriots. There was a 1-yard difference, a 2-yard difference between them repeating. Yep. Then you have the New England Patriots. They go to the Super Bowl. They beat the Falcons. They go back to the Super Bowl, lose to the Eagles because Nick Foles has a historically great run. They repeated, but they lost. Then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They go to the Super Bowl. They beat the Niners. They go back to the Super Bowl. They lose to the Bucs because of injuries. Both their tackles are out, and they just kind of got outplayed. So if you're looking at the Bucs, if I'm looking at history, what stopped the other 3 teams? Seahawks were stopped by a yard. The Patriots were stopped by a historically great run, and the Chiefs were stopped by injuries. I'm led to believe the Bucs will go back. But who stops them? Somewhere between a yard and injuries or Nick Foles. Right. Either way, I don't think anybody's stopping them.
Somebody's hamstring pulls up a yard short of the end zone against an opposing quarterback on fire. That's the only thing that's going to stop them. It's crazy to bring up those situations because basically we're going to watch this NFL season looking for who's going to play against them out of the AFC. Is Buffalo going to take that next step? Is Kansas City just going to say, hey, we've reloaded our offensive line, we are healthy, and we're hungry once again?
What's interesting, though, Sel, is if the Bucs, like the Chiefs, to me, are head and shoulders above the rest of the AFC. The Ravens are really good.
Head and shoulders?
Here's why I say it.
Just neck.
Second best team in the AFC is the Ravens.
Buffalo.
Buffalo. The Chiefs are at least still ahead.
They are ahead of them.
But they're head and shoulders above the Ravens because Ravens are 0-3 against them. Head and shoulders above the Ravens, above the Colts, above the Titans. But in the NFC,
keep going.
The Rams are good.
Hey,
you don't think so?
I mean, I don't know. Matthew Stafford, have you ever won a playoff game?
Well, even with Wolford, they went to the playoffs and won. They beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks are good. You believe in the Niners, at least with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
So the Niners are good.
He's gone tomorrow.
The Packers are good. Like, the NFC is at least, like, it's much more competitive. I think that the Bucs are only ahead above about 4 or 5 teams in the NFC. Where in the AFC, the Chiefs are still ahead above 1 and then ahead and shoulders above the rest of the slate. I think the Bucs gonna do it. We gonna see. Coming up, we getting closer to the draft. Should Bill Belichick go all in?
Your option picked up. Baker said earlier this week that he's more concerned about winning games than a long-term deal. Is, quote, a little bit on the back burner. Well, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam appears to be leaning towards an extension, saying, quote, we're pleased with where Baker is. Nacho, what did the Browns comments say about their belief in Baker?
They truly believe in Baker like I believe in Baker. Like that? Fully and fervently.
That?
Yeah, you know me. I'm trying to take more from it than I want to take from it, but I'm going to take what I want to take because I want to take it. They truly believe in Baker, so like I believe in Baker, and it's very simply as to why.
Why?
They understand that Baker Mayfield's transgressions prior to their arrival was not because of Baker Mayfield. It was because of the other parties. They understand that, still. Kind of like your wife, Anne-Marie. Everything you tell her about me, she's a great woman, wonderful woman. She probably understands that the other previous engagements you had didn't work out, not because of you, Marcellus Wiley, but because of the other parties. If she can understand that and you can be a beneficiary of that, then I don't think that Jimmy Haslam can't understand the same thing and Baker can't benefit in the manner in which you benefited. They understand, wait a second, Baker, you struggled your sophomore year. You weren't great your freshman year, your first year in the NFL, but by that 3rd year when we showed up, when Andrew Berry was the general manager, when Kevin Stefanski became the head coach, you balled. So, Baker, it wasn't on you, big dog. You just didn't have the right partner. You weren't tethered to the right individuals. Now that you're tethered to us, we see what you can do. Kevin Stefanski, in 1 year, 1 season as a Browns head coach, has more wins than the previous 7 head coaches had in their cumulative tenure. What do I mean by that? Eric Mangini, he was there for 2 years, 10 cumulative wins. You see Shermer, 2 years, 9 wins. Chazinski, 4 wins. You see the names. I'm not going to go through them all. But Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, the new people in charge of that team, they understand, Baker, you are great. You just needed our help to make you great. We ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. We going to be great together.
Oh, my God. You did dig for that one right there. That was not on the surface, not what I heard right there. Their comments tell me exactly what the reality is, that they're right on the fence about Baker Mayfield, just like his performance is, right on the fence. You see some good, you see some bad, you see some inconsistency. And I heard some inconsistent words from the owner, let me emphasize this word, owner Jimmy Haslam, who's been there since mid-2012. He comes out and says, yeah, playing old classic good cop, bad cop. You know what? As an owner, he says this. Well, Andrew Berry and Baker are having those conversations. We're going to circle back and talk about this. What owner do you know has to go, 1, delegate to someone else, and 2, get the intel from them to circle back to say we're going to make a decision? Last time I checked, the owner has the final say. The owner makes the final decision. So for him to play, I'm the good cop, but Andrew needs to talk that out. Andrew ain't gonna say nothing. And then had that conversation with Baker Mayfield, just told me what I needed to know. He tried to pass the buck. So Baker Mayfield, just like me and all my other engagements, you always want to bring up my past. Let me tell you this, all my other engagements, I love to make me look like the star in those movies.
You were.
It was all on them.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I was there.
No,
let me tell you.
You weren't.
Let me tell you what happened. It wasn't all them. I had to grow. I had to do something different. I had to evolve. Baker, you're me in all those other engagements. You have to grow. You have to evolve. You have to be consistent. And Anna Marie will be waiting for you. Coming up, AB is back in Tampa. We'll tell you if anybody can stop the Bucs from
graduate from Lamar Jackson and trade up for a rookie quarterback. Now, John Harbaugh praised this quarterback yesterday and was quick to point out the plans for the former MVP. Y'all take a listen.
His fifth-year option will be picked up.
Okay.
Guarantee it. He's definitely going to be our quarterback, so that's the plan, absolutely. I feel like it all points to one thing, and the thing he talks about all the time is, he wants to win a Super Bowl. But Lamar is somebody that just kind of, he breaks the mold a little bit. He does it in a way that a lot of people didn't anticipate, Rich. They didn't see this coming. He's very determined, and we're very determined to, to prove those people wrong.
So, Sal, let's talk about proving people wrong. What's Lamar Jackson have to do to prove his doubters wrong?
Nothing. Ignore them. They don't exist anymore. I understand that was a part of his fuel, his octane to get to who he is now, Lamar Jackson. Good Lord, if I were Lamar Jackson, I wish y'all say something to me. Y'all would see 2 birds in the sky coming from these hands. I mean, I give a damn. Who are y'all talking to? Y'all don't qualify to talk to me, but let me be professional up here. Remove them out of your mindset. Remove them out of your conversation. Even you, John Harbaugh, we're past that point. Like, Bill Polian was wrong. We get it. All the other naysayers and critics, they were wrong. Now it's time to evolve who Lamar Jackson is. Let's talk about that. W.C. Fields, was it Madeir? Shout out to Tyler Perry. Both said this. It ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. So when people are calling you all these type of things, Lamar Jackson, as long as you don't stop down, as long as you don't turn around, as long as you don't give them energy, your attention, don't answer to it. It's a place where in your room, not only your physical, literal room, but the room that you have in your head to give attention and focus to needs to be removed of the they. Remember DJ Khaled blew up talking about they? They, who in the hell is they? We all know who they are and we can't touch who they are because it's just this noise. And let's separate the signal from the noise. The signal is Lamar Jackson. Since you've been in the league, you're number 1 in wins. Since you've been in the league, you're number 1 in points. Over Patrick Mahomes? Damn. Since you've been in the league, you're number 1 in rush yards. You are the best player under 25 just recently voted. Keep all of that in terms of mental ammunition. And all these other people out here talking all that noise, you have already lapped them boys.
So there's only one way Lamar Jackson can prove doubters wrong, and it's by winning a Super Bowl. Period.
Don't choose.
I have to, because it's true. Over the last 40 years, 18 quarterbacks have won NFL MVPs.
Oh, here we go.
Each of the 18 have at least made it to a Super Bowl, except for Lamar Jackson. Over the last 40 years, Sal, 18 quarterbacks have won MVP, and all them cats have made it to a Super Bowl, except for Lamar Jackson. Once you have won the individual award, which Lamar Jackson has done, and he did it to the highest level, there's only one more thing you can doubt. can you win the team award? That's the only thing we can doubt about Lamar Jackson.
I like that.
We can't doubt if he can run the ball. Can't doubt if he can lead his team to a quality record. Can't doubt if he can win regular season games. Can't doubt if he can pass the ball from the pocket, led the league in passing touchdowns. We have nothing left to doubt except for, can you win the big game? We see it from other greats across other sports. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2 MVPs back-to-back.